Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, WISE-KRISPIES. You are what you eat. So, whatever we take in is what we're going to put out. If it's wise things, once again, you're going to put forth wise actions. If they are not wise things that you're eating, symbolically, it's going to be unwise actions, and we definitely want to avoid that. So, today's episode, the title is Kindness. Is it for the weak? Is kindness for the weak? Let's sit here and think about that. So, in this world, am I right or am I wrong that people say, if you're strong, and if you can tell someone off, and if you can just make them feel bad, and if they say something to you, all you better say back. They do something to you, show them. You give them what they need. Show them what they're worth. Right? You have a big chest and a deep voice, and you walk around and you show everyone that, hey, I'm tough, I'm strong. Think about it. Is that really strength? Is that really being strong? Kindness. Kindness, is that actually means you're a weak person? Oh, you could get taken advantage of, and you need to take up for yourself and show everyone who's boss. Show them I'm the boss. Don't mess with me, and I'm strong. Is that really a strength, or is that being weak? What's easier? Is it easier to tell someone off when they disrespect you or when they offend you? Or is it easier to be kind and loving towards that person that's provoking you to anger, that is trying to push you and move you to an aggressive state? Believe me, it takes a lot more harder work to be kind and loving, especially in this world where what is bad is good and what is good is weak, right? So in today's podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about what the Bible says. And again, like, these podcasts are more for the modern day life that we live. We're talking about real situations nowadays. We know in the Bible times, many years ago, those were different times, and a lot of course, the Bible counsel and situations are still applicable to today, for today. So, but we're actually going to make this not more of a religious podcast or a Christian podcast, but we are going to definitely talk about some of the Bible principles and that we find in the scriptures. So, one of the biggest acts of kindness that I could think of physically today is when you find a building. Let me just give you an example. Okay? When you have your own house, right? And anyone that comes into that house regularly, and they sit on they come in, they sit, and they eat in your house, right? You worked hard for your money to buy food, and you took your energy to go shopping and get that food, and took energy to cook that food. And then if someone comes over to your house every week, maybe even 2 times a week, and you're sharing your food with them, you're sharing your space, and of course you're enjoying their company. But now, let's say that this is expensive food, this is valuable food, and you're in difficult times right now, but you still invite them over. Let's say they bring the whole family of 10. Okay, so you're not going to be saving any food after that meal is consumed. There's no leftovers, so you got to go back to your 9-to-5 job and work hard and sweat and provide more money so you can provide for your family, and they're still coming over, right? So I liken this to one of the most kindest acts that we might not really realize. This is when you go to your place of worship, okay, who's working hard to provide the construction of those buildings? Who is working hard to pay the electric bill, the water bill? Who's working hard to provide the energy, the time that goes into practicing the delivery of the spiritual food, the feast, the valuable, expensive spiritual food that we're taking in? Basically, we don't go in there and we don't pay the rent for those places. We don't buy those chairs, those things. Obviously, in some organizations, those are based off of voluntary donations, strictly given from the heart. Kind hearts. Okay? So, you see here, as Psalms has brought out, it says, as for me, in the abundance of your loving kindness, I shall come into your house. Your house. I shall bow down toward your holy temple in fear of you. So you see here that this is bringing out that people are coming into somebody's house. This is somebody's house. People are coming into. Obviously, they have a lot of them have the right motive, at least hopefully. It says, I shall bow down toward your holy temple. So these individuals always have a good motive and attitude of learning and feeding off of this spiritual food. So you see here, this house, expensive house, expensive. Now, when people think about expensive, they think about money. But expense also is people's time, energy. This is their life. Very expensive, right? Because when it's gone, it's gone. And once you get older, you know what happens after that. And this system of things, this world. So it's very expensive. Very, very, very expensive. Okay? So it does not take weakness. This takes strength to want to be able to work hard to help others, to be able to be comfortable and safe and protected and happy. You're protecting their happiness and their joy. This is the biggest act of kindness, at least example that I could think of, that goes on right to this day, every week, at least 2 days a week for some people. Okay? So, again, do you really think it's weak? It doesn't take a lot of strength to be kind, show kindness, undeserved kindness. Look at this. In Proverbs 11, chapter 11, verses 17, it brings out, it says, a man of loving kindness. So we have loving kindness and undeserved kindness. But this one is talking about loving kindness, is dealing rewardingly with his own soul. So showing undeserved loving kindness to someone that's never going to return it back to you. That takes a lot of strength in a world that we live in. It was, what's in it for me? You see? That's what kind of world we live in. If I do something for you, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? What am I going to benefit? You see, this. But when we give undeserved loving kindness, it says right here in the Bible, you are dealing rewardingly with your own soul. So exactly what could that mean also? Well, you see, when people think of compensation, they think of money. A lot of people just think of money. But what's way more valuable than money, than gold, something physical, what's way more valuable than this physical thing? Because money is powerful. We need it. It controls the world. It controls our life. But what about the materials that even money's made of. You see, so when we seek spiritual blessings, when we seek spiritual actions, when we intake, we are what we eat. When we intake these things that we learn from the Bible, these spiritual things, and we're putting out spiritual things, we're going to receive spiritual compensation. And we're going to be able to give to others something more valuable, even a hug. How much does it cost to give a hug? How much does it cost to be kind to someone? How hard of a work is it to tell someone, hey, I appreciate you. I care about you. I'm just checking on you. You know, to someone who's going through a difficult time or needs someone just to listen to them, and for you to show that kindness, undeserved kindness, that loving kindness, can mean the world to them. It's priceless. You see, you can't put a price on kindness. So therefore, you have to be strong within yourself. You know yourself inside, what you're thinking and how you feel deep inside in your heart. Only people you can hide it from is other people. But you can't hide it from our Creator or life giver. Just fact, just the truth. So, in reply to the title, is kindness for the weak? You answer it. We'll see you on the next podcast, WISE-KRISPIES. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You are what you eat. Take care, everyone.